Hi there, this is Jack from the Spitfire Audio Customer Experience team. In this video I'm going to give a demonstration of the user interface controls for the Orbis library. While this is a plugin version of the eDNA synthesizer, the controls operate and the shortcuts operate identically to the Contact version. Firstly, at the top of the user interface we have the preset menu. Using the drop-down icon, we can then see each individual preset. From the menu on the right hand side, we can favourite the presets and then they will show up under the starred filter on the left hand side. We can preview a sound and also hover the mouse over the information icon on the right hand side to learn more about that sound. The filters on the left hand side allow you to identify sounds in a quicker nature. The two arrows on the right hand side of the preset menu allow you to move up and down the preset list. Note that if you have the filters enabled, these arrows will go up and down the preset list within those filters. The save icon allows you to save a custom user preset. Once this is saved, it will appear under the user section of the filters. Moving further down the interface, we have the expression control. Expression is volume, and it operates within the master volume of the library, which can be found in the top menu on the right hand side. The fader in the middle is for modulation. Now, if you use CC number 1 or your modulation wheel to control this, you'll notice the slider at the bottom of the interface also moves. This allows you to modulate the sounds between Bay A and Bay B. The control on the right hand side allows 6 different options when you click it. However, when you click Option on a Mac or Alt on a Windows and right click any control on the interface, you can assign that control to a slot on the knob control. Moving further down the interface, we have the sound bays. The sound bays allow us to use the preset drop-down menu to put a unique sound in sound A and a different sound in sound B. On the preset browser here as well, you can also bypass the sound and turn it off. You can mute the sound, or you can increase and decrease which patch it is, again using the arrows. Using the reverse button in the middle, you can swap sounds A and sounds B around. This is particularly useful because in the eDNA engine, you can apply different effects to sound A than sound B. Below the preset browser, we have the wobble section. These are 3 different modulation controls, which allow the user to modulate volume, pitch, and filter. By clicking in the black box and dragging the mouse upwards, you can increase and decrease the speed in which the modulator runs at. The percentage control to the right of each individual LFO or wobble allows you to control the depth or how much that LFO affects the sound source. Note that any one of these controls and any control on the user interface can be right-clicked and you can learn the MIDI CC automation. Note that once you assign a control, the MIDI CC value will be displayed directly below. Below the LFO section we have the high-pass and low-pass filter options. Again, clicking in the black box will allow you to change the frequency cutoff, and the slider directly below will allow you to affect the resonance. On the right hand side of the filters we have the ADSR envelope. This particular set of controls allows you to adjust the amplitude envelope of the sound. Adjust the attack if you want to create a slow or sharp fade into the sound. The decay time drops the volume from the maximum attack level to the sustain level, which is set by the S control. The release time determines how long it takes for the sound to decay to 0 after you've let go of a key. Note that when you hold Alt and drag any particular control on this interface, for example the decay time, it controls the exact identical parameter in sound bay B at the same equal value. Moving below the envelope we have the sample and note controls. Here we can adjust the tuning, the panning of the sound, the offset of the sound, and also the trim controls. Using the tune control and the offset control allows the user to select a different sample and then tune it down to the correct pitch. To the right of these controls, we have the glide, bend and clone options. Notice that when we enable glide, the bend controls go away. This is because we automatically slide between two different notes. The bend controls allow you to fine-tune and offset the size of the pitch bend when using your MIDI controller. The clone option, when enabled, duplicates the sound and then allows you to pitch and offset the tuning of it. Directly below these controls we have the mixer. The mixer, when used with the modulation wheel, allows you to crossfade between the sounds in Bay A and also Bay B. By ticking the Oscillate Mixer icon on the left-hand side, we can do this automatically in combination with our DAW tempo. The Stop on Release option allows the user to select whether the mixer is returned to the 50-50 position once you've let go of a key. The wavetables directly below this option allow the user to set the style of crossfade between the two sound bays. For example, if you choose the sine wave option, the crossfade will be quite smooth between the two sounds. However, if you use a more jagged waveform, for example the saw wave, you would see a sharper change in the sounds between Bay A and Bay B. Above the sound bays we have three options which allow us to change the view of the bottom half of the engine. The control in the middle for this enables you to view the effects page. In eDNA there are 4 different effects stages. We have direct inserts for Bay A effects and Bay B effects. These only affect the sound source in Bay A or Bay B. If you wanted the Bay B effects to affect the sound source in Bay A, you can use the reverse icon in the sound bays. The Bay A and Bay B effects focus on more direct insert style effects. For example, these would focus on a distortion style of effect. When using an effect, you must always make sure you enable it using the boxes. By clicking on the effect name, we can then move between the controls specific to that effect. In Bay A effects and Bay B effects, we also have the options for sends. The sends enable you to send signal to the aux effects. These are based on more auxiliary type effects, for example reverb. It's important to note that under the Bay A effects you must enable the sends by ticking the box below the word. Then from the aux effects bay, we must also turn on the effects we wish to use. From the master effects page, similar to Bay A and Bay B effects, these focus on direct inserts, however they're tailored to more mastering. For example, you have an EQ and a limiter within this effects rack. The master effects in the signal chain affect everything. Further, from the master effects, you can also set up sends. Moving forward, we then have the gate sequencer. The gate sequencer allows you to create rhythmic grooves between sounds A and sounds B. You can create the grooves by clicking within any of the squares. The length control below this grid allows you to increase the range of the sequence. There are different shortcuts you can implement when using this sequencer. If you hold Shift, you can block out particular parts of the interface. If you were to click Alt on your keyboard or Option on a Mac and click in the boxes, you'll mirror the rhythm on Bay A and Bay B. If you were to hold Control on Windows or Command on a Mac and click in the box, you'll invert the sequence that you've created. The gate sequencer runs in sync with your host tempo. If you'd like to speed up the length of the sequence, use the speed control on the left-hand side. You can also use the reverse control on the right-hand side to swap the rhythm between Bay A and Bay B. The volume affects how much the gate cuts in and out of the sound. The smooth in option allows the user to create less of a direct cut at the start of each individual rhythm. The smooth out option allows you to control the release of the gate. The three controls on the left of these sliders allow you to turn on the gate sequencer. The stop on release control switches the gate sequencer off after you let go of the key. And if you were to enable the after layer effects, the gate sequencer would manipulate the effects bays as well as your main sound. This allows you to change where you position the gate sequencer in the signal chain. If you have any further questions about this eDNA interface, please get in touch with us at spitfireaudio.com/support. Thanks.